If you want to understand how fast someone is truly aging, you have to look far beyond the number printed on their driver's license. Chronological age only tells you how many years have passed, not how well the body is functioning on a cellular level. Two people can be the same age on paper, yet one may feel energetic, sharp, and resilient, while the other struggles with fatigue, slow recovery, and declining health. The difference lies beneath the surface, in processes most routine medical checkups never fully capture. Blood pressure readings and cholesterol panels provide useful information, but they don't tell the full story of how well the body is repairing itself. The more accurate reflection of biological aging is hidden in something rarely discussed: the number and activity of circulating stem cells in the bloodstream. These cells are the body's internal repair system, constantly working behind the scenes to replace damaged tissue, regenerate organs, and maintain overall function. Every day, your body experiences wear and tear from normal metabolic processes, environmental exposure, and physical activity. What determines how quickly you recover from that damage is not just your lifestyle on the surface, but how efficiently these stem cells respond. When stem cell levels are high and active, repair happens quickly and effectively. Muscles recover faster, the brain stays sharp, skin maintains elasticity, and internal organs continue to function smoothly. When these levels decline, the opposite begins to unfold. Recovery slows, inflammation lingers, and subtle signs of aging begin to accumulate. What makes this concept so powerful is that stem cell activity reflects the body's real-time ability to heal and regenerate. It reveals whether your system is actively rebuilding itself, each night, or gradually falling behind. Most people never consider this because it is not something typically measured during routine health visits, yet it may be one of the most important indicators of long-term vitality. The body is not static, it is constantly renewing itself, and the efficiency of that renewal determines how you feel and function over time. There is also a common assumption that this process is fixed, that once it begins to decline with age, there is little that can be done to influence it. That assumption is deeply misleading. Biological systems are highly responsive, especially to what you consistently provide through nutrition and daily habits. The signals your body receives from what you consume can either support repair mechanisms or gradually suppress them. This means that biological age is not simply a reflection of time passing, but a reflection of how well these internal systems are supported. What's often overlooked is how dynamic this process really is. Stem cell activity can shift, sometimes significantly, based on relatively simple changes. It is not locked in place or predetermined at birth. Instead, it responds to inputs, particularly those related to diet, nutrient density, and compounds that interact with cellular pathways. When the body receives the right signals, it can increase its repair capacity in ways that seem surprising to most people. This is where the conversation begins to change from one of limitation to one of possibility. Understanding this shifts the entire perspective on aging. It is no longer just about managing symptoms or slowing decline, but about actively supporting the systems that keep the body functioning at a higher level. Instead of asking how to avoid aging, the better question becomes how to maintain the body's natural ability to repair itself. That answer leads directly to the role of stem cells and the factors that influence them daily. Once you begin to see aging through this lens, it becomes clear that the body is constantly responding to its environment. Every meal, every habit, every choice sends signals that either enhance or interfere with these internal processes. Over time, those signals accumulate, shaping how efficiently your body continues to function. This is why two individuals with similar lifestyles on the surface can experience very different outcomes. The difference often comes down to subtle but consistent inputs that either support or hinder cellular repair. This understanding also highlights something important. The body is not simply breaking down with age, it is adapting to the signals it receives. When those signals are aligned with repair and regeneration, the body responds accordingly. When they are not, decline accelerates. Recognizing this gives you a level of control that most people don't realize they have. It reframes aging from something that passively happens to you into something that can be influenced in measurable ways. At its core, biological aging is a reflection of how well your body maintains itself over time. Stem cells, are at the center of that process, acting as the foundation of repair and renewal. Paying attention to this deeper layer changes the entire approach to health. It shifts the focus from surface-level markers to the underlying systems that truly determine how you feel, how you recover, and how you continue to function as the years go on. The discovery that a single, simple root vegetable can influence stem cell activity is nothing short of remarkable. For decades, the mainstream conversation around aging has focused on symptom management: blood pressure, cholesterol, joint pain, fatigue, but those are merely outcomes, not causes. The real drivers of how quickly the body ages happen deep inside, at the cellular level, and they respond to what the body consumes every day. It turns out that this humble root, available in almost every grocery store, contains compounds capable of dramatically enhancing the body's regenerative capacity. In clinical studies, people who incorporated this food into their daily routines experienced measurable increases in circulating stem cells, which directly correlates with faster repair, improved organ function, and even the reversal of certain markers of biological aging. What makes this finding so exciting is how practical it is. Unlike expensive medications, complex therapies, or experimental treatments, this vegetable is widely available, inexpensive, and easy to incorporate. The compounds it contains are naturally designed to interact with the body's own systems. They work not by masking symptoms, but by enhancing the mechanisms that are already built into the body to maintain and repair itself. The potential impact is profound. By eating the right foods consistently, people can support their body's capacity to rebuild tissues, improve vascular health, and optimize cellular function, all in a way that is backed by measurable scientific evidence. Biological aging is not a single process, but a cascade of interconnected systems, each influencing the other. Stem cells are at the center of this network. They act as the body's maintenance crew, constantly patrolling, repairing, and regenerating damaged tissue. When stem cell levels decline or their activity is impaired, the entire system slows down. Recove. ERI from exercise takes longer, minor injuries linger, cognitive clarity diminishes, and organs gradually lose efficiency. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and environmental toxins all contribute to slowing these repair mechanisms, creating a feedback loop where the body gradually falls behind in its ability to regenerate. What makes this root vegetable remarkable is that it addresses multiple points in this system simultaneously. It not only stimulates stem cell production, but also improves circulation, reduces inflammation, and supports the epigenetic machinery that regulates cellular function. Each of these actions compounds the others, resulting in a measurable improvement in the body's overall repair capacity. It's important to understand why this matters so much. Most interventions aimed at aging focus on external outcomes: how the skin looks, how strong the muscles are, or how well certain organs perform. But these are downstream effects. The real key to healthy aging is upstream, at the level of cellular regeneration. By increasing stem cell activity, this vegetable enhances the body's intrinsic repair capacity, which translates into better health outcomes across every system. Organs can rebuild themselves more efficiently, tissues recover faster, and the cumulative effects of aging slow down. The process is not instant, but over weeks of consistent use, it can produce measurable and meaningful changes in the body's regenerative abilities. Another striking aspect of this vegetable is its ability to influence not just the number of stem cells, but their functional quality. As people age, not only do the numbers decline, but the cells themselves often become less responsive to signals that tell them to repair damaged tissue. The compounds in this food help restore that responsiveness, ensuring that stem cells not only exist in greater numbers, but can act effectively when needed. This dual effect, boosting quantity and enhancing quality, creates a regenerative environment within the body that can counteract some of the most common hallmarks of aging, including slowed recovery, declining mental clarity, and increased susceptibility to disease. The scientific evidence supporting this effect comes from multiple independent studies. Clinical research has documented increases in key stem cell populations, improvements in endothelial function, reductions in markers of inflammation, and favorable changes in epigenetic patterns. These studies demonstrate that the effects are not anecdotal or isolated, but consistent across different populations and settings. They reveal a clear biological mechanism through which diet can influence cellular aging, providing a practical, actionable way for people to take control of their health. In essence, this discovery turns conventional thinking about aging on its head. Rather than accepting gradual decline as inevitable, it shows that the body's regenerative systems can be supported and enhanced through specific nutritional strategies. What is most compelling about this finding is its accessibility. It does not require cutting-edge technology, expensive supplements, or specialized interventions. It requires knowledge, consistency, and the right implementation. When incorporated correctly, this vegetable interacts with the body's internal repair systems in a measurable and meaningful way. Over time, it can improve energy levels, accelerate recovery, support cognitive function, and slow the internal processes that contribute to aging. The implications are profound. People are no longer passive observers of their biological fate, but active participants in maintaining and even enhancing their health. This is the type of intervention that transforms understanding into action, demonstrating that aging is not merely a series of unavoidable declines, but a process that can be influenced by the choices made every single day. Most people believe that aging is a simple, linear process. Time passes, and the body inevitably begins to deteriorate. After a certain point, it seems like no matter what you do, muscles weaken, recovery slows, and energy declines. Organs gradually lose efficiency, cognitive clarity diminishes, and minor injuries take longer to heal. The common perception is that the body simply stops regenerating itself, that the repair mechanisms which once kept us resilient in youth are inevitably exhausted. This view is widespread because it aligns with what people experience superficially: aches and pains, slower recovery, and more frequent illnesses. But what actually drives this apparent decline is rarely discussed. The truth is that the body's capacity to regenerate does not vanish with age. It diminishes because the systems responsible for repair, particularly stem cell activity, are not being optimally supported. Aging is not a sentence. It is a condition, one that can be influenced, managed, and even partially reversed with the right interventions. Observing the differences between individuals of the same chronological age can reveal just how dynamic this process is. Two people may both be in their 60s, yet one may still recover quickly from minor injuries, maintain muscle mass, and retain sharp mental clarity, while the other struggles with persistent fatigue, slower recovery, and cognitive fog. The discrepancy lies not in luck or genetics alone, but in the underlying cellular activity. The key difference is the efficiency of the repair system, particularly the number and responsiveness of circulating stem cells. These cells are responsible for repairing tissue, maintaining organ function, and orchestrating regeneration throughout the body. When they are abundant and highly active, the body can sustain itself at a high level of performance. When their numbers drop and their function declines, repair slows, chronic low-level inflammation takes hold, and the body gradually falls behind in its ability to maintain optimal health. It is important to recognize that these repair mechanisms are not static or immutable. They respond to external inputs in a measurable way: diet, nutrient availability, and specific bioactive compounds in food can stimulate stem cell production and enhance their responsiveness. Physical activity and lifestyle habits also play a role, influencing circulation, inflammation, and cellular signaling. In other words, aging is not just a matter of time, it is a reflection of how effectively the body's internal systems are maintained. The repair processes that decline over the decades are not inherently broken. They are simply not receiving the signals and nutrients needed to operate at full capacity. This perspective reframes aging from a passive inevitability into an active process that can be influenced, guided, and supported. The cumulative effect of decades of suboptimal signaling and nutrient intake becomes apparent over time. By middle age, many adults experience a reduction in stem cell activity, decreased organ resilience, and slower tissue repair. This decline often manifests as longer recovery periods after exercise, subtle cognitive slowing, and minor but persistent physical discomforts. While these changes may seem like normal aging, they are in fact indicators that the body's repair systems are not being fully supported. The good news is that these changes are not permanent. they are reversible to a significant degree. When the proper nutritional and lifestyle interventions are introduced, the body responds. Stem cell counts increase, their activity improves, and the cellular machinery responsible for repair begins to operate more efficiently again. Research has increasingly shown that certain foods can directly influence stem cell production and mobilization. Specific compounds interact with cellular pathways that signal bone marrow to produce more stem cells, enhance their movement into the bloodstream, and ensure they reach the tissues that need repair. This creates a cascade of beneficial effects: faster recovery, improved organ function, reduced inflammation, and greater overall resilience. Importantly, these effects are measurable in laboratory settings, providing objective evidence that the body's regenerative capacity can be supported and enhanced through targeted nutritional strategies. It is not about anecdotal improvements or placebo effects. This is biology in action, demonstrating the body's inherent ability to rebuild itself when given the right inputs. This perspective fundamentally changes how we think about aging. Instead of viewing decline as inevitable, it frames it as a process that can be influenced at multiple levels. By targeting the systems responsible for repair, particularly stem cells, it becomes possible to slow or partially reverse aspects of biological aging. The body is not simply wearing out, it is responding to the environment, diet, and daily habits. The more consistently these systems are supported, the more effectively the body can maintain itself. Even small, sustainable changes can have profound long-term effects, gradually restoring function, increasing resilience, and improving quality of life. Ultimately, the message is empowering. Aging is not simply a passive drift toward decline. It is a dynamic process that reflects the interaction between biological systems and daily choices. Stem cells, as the central agents of repair, offer a clear indicator of how well the body is managing this process. When supported with the right nutrients and habits, they can restore and enhance regenerative capacity, slow the internal processes that drive decline, and enable the body to maintain function at a much higher level than previously assumed. The difference between merely surviving and thriving in later years often comes down to understanding and supporting these systems, giving the body what it needs to do what it was designed to do. The answer to why some people age more slowly and maintain higher levels of energy, strength, and cognitive clarity lies deep within the cells themselves. It is not found in pharmaceuticals, trendy supplements, or even conventional health advice. The critical factor is stem cell activity, the processes that govern how effectively the body can detect damage, repair tissue, and regenerate organs. Stem cells are the repair units of the body, and their functionality determines how resilient the body is to both daily wear and tear and the cumulative effects of aging. What researchers have found is that stem cell activity can vary dramatically between individuals of the same chronological age, explaining why two people can look similar on paper, yet experience vastly different health outcomes. One person may remain vibrant, strong, and mentally sharp, while another struggles with fatigue, slow recovery, and declining organ function. The difference is in the activity and responsiveness of the cells responsible for repair. Stem cells do not work in isolation. They respond to complex biological signals that are influenced by nutrition, lifestyle, and environmental factors. As people age, these signals often weaken and the cells themselves become less responsive. Bone marrow, the primary factory producing stem cells, gradually reduces its output, and the cells that are produced may be slower to mobilize and less effective when they reach dam. Aged tissues, chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and poor nutrient intake all contribute to this decline. When stem cells are unable to act efficiently, tissues and organs begin a slow, almost imperceptible deterioration, leading to the accumulation of damage that manifests as the outward signs of aging. Recovery from exercise slows, muscle tone diminishes, cognitive sharpness declines, and even the immune system becomes less effective. These changes, while often accepted as inevitable, are actually symptoms of a system operating below its potential. The remarkable insight is that this decline is not fixed. Stem cell activity is highly responsive to specific biological inputs, particularly nutrients and compounds found in certain foods. Research has identified foods capable of stimulating stem cell production and enhancing their mobilization into the bloodstream, allowing them to reach tissues where they are needed most. This means that the body's repair system can be reactivated even after years of suboptimal function. By consistently providing these cellular cues, it is possible to improve tissue regeneration and enhance organ function, and even partially reverse markers of biological aging. The effect is not superficial. It is measurable at a cellular level, providing objective evidence that the body's regenerative capacity is dynamic and modifiable. Understanding this concept reshapes the conventional view of aging. Aging is not simply a series of unavoidable declines dictated by time. It is the result of the cumulative effects of cellular function, nutrient intake, and environmental exposure. When repair systems, particularly stem cells, are supported, the trajectory of aging can be altered. Recovery from minor injuries becomes faster, energy levels increase, cognitive clarity improves, and the body is better equipped to maintain its structural integrity. In essence, supporting stem cell activity enhances the body's resilience, allowing individuals to maintain higher levels of physical and mental function far beyond what is typically expected. The implications of this understanding are profound. Instead of focusing solely on managing symptoms, attention can be shifted to supporting the underlying systems responsible for repair. This is where nutrition plays a pivotal role. Specific compounds can activate molecular pathways that stimulate stem cell production, improve circulation, and reduce chronic inflammation. Each of these effects amplifies the others, creating a regenerative environment in which tissues and organs can thrive. The combination of these factors explains why some individuals are able to maintain robust health into their 60s, 70s, and beyond, while others decline despite following standard health recommendations. Moreover, the responsiveness of stem cells to these nutritional signals demonstrates that aging is not a passive process. The body is continually adjusting to internal and external cues. By providing the right compounds, it is possible to reverse some of the epigenetic changes that reduce stem cell function over time. Epigenetic changes do not alter the DNA sequence, but influence which genes are active and which are silenced. Nutrients and bioactive compounds can support healthy methylation patterns, effectively turning on genes responsible for cellular repair and regeneration. This means that aging at the cellular level can be slowed and in some cases partially reversed, not through genetic manipulation, but through targeted nutritional strategies that interact with the body's natural repair mechanisms. In practical terms, this means that individuals have far more control over their biological aging than is commonly believed. The decline in regenerative capacity is not inevitable. T is influenced by daily choices. By incorporating specific foods and nutrients that target stem cell activity, it is possible to restore and enhance the body's repair systems. This creates a cascade of benefits: faster recovery, improved tissue integrity, enhanced cognitive function, and greater overall resilience. In essence, the body's natural capacity for self-repair, which may have slowed with age, can be reignited, demonstrating that the course of aging is not predetermined, but can be actively shaped through informed, consistent actions. The difference between accelerated decline and sustained vitality often comes down to understanding these cellular mechanisms and providing the body with what it needs to function at its best. To truly understand how aging can be influenced, it is essential to look at the mechanisms underlying the body's repair systems. Stem cells, often described as the body's repair units, are constantly at work, assessing damage and restoring function at a microscopic level. Every organ, tissue, and system relies on these cells to maintain optimal performance. Yet, as time passes, these cells face multiple challenges. The signals that guide their production and movement weaken, chronic inflammation accumulates, and nutrient deficiencies limit their ability to function effectively. The result is a gradual slowdown in repair processes, which manifests as longer recovery times, loss of muscle tone, slower cognitive processing, and decreased resilience to stress and illness. These changes may appear inevitable, but they are in fact the product of diminished cellular support, not a predetermined decline. The body is capable of much more than it is often given credit for, provided it receives the right inputs to stimulate and sustain these critical repair mechanisms. The most striking aspect of stem cell biology is the degree to which their acti vitae can be influenced by external factors. This is not about fantasy or anecdotal claims. It is rooted in measurable, reproducible biological effects. Nutrients and bioactive compounds found in certain foods can trigger the bone marrow to increase stem cell production and enhance their mobilization into the bloodstream, and improve their responsiveness once they reach the tissues that need repair. Circulating stem cells act as an internal maintenance crew, repairing blood vessels, regenerating muscle tissue, supporting organ function, and even maintaining immune competence. When their numbers are adequate and their function is optimal, the body can repair itself efficiently, recover from stress and injury rapidly, and maintain vitality at a level far beyond what is typically expected for chronological age. Conversely, when stem cell activity declines, repair slows, minor injuries persist longer, fatigue becomes chronic, and tissues begin to deteriorate incrementally. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the main factors that impede stem cell function as the body ages. Even subtle, ongoing inflammation can disrupt the signaling pathways that direct stem cells to sites of damage, resulting in impaired repair. This phenomenon, sometimes referred to as inflammaging, is a significant driver of age-related decline. While inflammation is a natural part of the immune response, when it becomes persistent, it acts like background noise on a radio signal. Stem cells struggle to receive clear instructions, and their effectiveness diminishes. Reducing inflammation through dietary and lifestyle interventions creates a clearer signal environment, allowing stem cells to operate at their full potential. Certain compounds found in foods are particularly effective at regulating inflammatory pathways, supporting stem cell activity, and promoting tissue regeneration, making targeted nutrition a powerful tool in maintaining and enhancing regenerative capacity. In addition to inflammation, epigenetic changes play a critical role in the aging process. These changes do not alter the underlying DNA, but influence which genes are active and which are silenced. Over time, genes responsible for stem cell self-renewal can be progressively silenced, reducing the body's ability to regenerate tissue effectively. Fortunately, specific nutrients can influence epigenetic patterns, supporting healthy gene expression and restoring the regenerative potential of stem cells. This means that the decline in repair capacity is not entirely irreversible. By providing the molecular inputs that guide cellular activity, it is possible to partially reset the body's repair systems, enhancing their ability to restore tissues and organs to optimal function. In practical terms, this translates into faster recovery from physical activity, improved organ function, and greater RAL resilience, even in middle and later years. Another key factor in stem cell efficiency is vascular health. Circulating stem cells rely on an unobstructed and well-functioning circulatory system to reach tissues in need of repair. Blood vessels that are constricted or inflamed prevent stem cells from accessing their target tissues, limiting their effectiveness. Nutritional compounds that improve endothelial function, increase nitric oxide production, and enhance blood flow can therefore directly boost stem cell effectiveness. By improving circulation, these compounds ensure that stem cells not only increase in number, but can also reach the areas that require repair. This dual effect, stimulating stem cell production and ensuring effective delivery, creates a regenerative environment that supports overall biological resilience. It highlights the importance of considering both cellular and vascular factors when aiming to optimize the body's repair capacity. Ultimately, the difference between aging slowly and experiencing rapid decline is determined not just by genetics or chronological age, but by the dynamic interaction of stem cell activity, inflammation, epigenetic regulation, and vascular health. The body has a remarkable capacity to adapt and repair itself, even after years of decline, provided the right support is given. Targeted interventions that activate stem cells, reduce chronic inflammation, support healthy epigenetic patterns, and improve vascular delivery can significantly alter the trajectory of aging. This approach reframes aging as an active, modifiable process rather than an inevitable passive decline. By understanding these mechanisms and providing the necessary nutritional and lifestyle inputs, it is possible to restore regenerative capacity, enhance energy, improve cognitive clarity, and maintain physical resilience far beyond what is typically expected at any given chronological age. Aging is not simply something that happens to the body. It is a reflection of how well the body is supported at a cellular level.